Hello, my dear friends. This is our next podcast of Antipsychosis Marathon. And this is still Annika Lanternes speaking. We would like to continue to speak about our life in quarantine today. And I got some very interesting questions, and I would like to answer them here in this podcast. But before I do that, I would like to thank you all for your gratitude that you write messages to me about how I helped you, not to panic, to pull yourself together. And I'm so happy that you did that I helped. If I helped at least one person to stay calm, I'm very happy about that. It means that I'm doing everything right. Please write to me, give your feedback to me. It helps me and it inspires me to work for you and to create my further podcasts. So because I have got so much feedback from you, I will make more podcasts than 3. I think we are going to have 6 podcasts, but we will see. And the first question that I got was, and I'm going to quote it, I'm going to read it. Anna, I'm so grateful to you for this free marathon antipsychosis. I always considered myself a calm person, but when it all started, I started panicking and I understood that I need help. And then your marathon came out. So I would like to ask you 2 questions. First question is why people like you do good to people absolutely, sincerely, and free for no money. I would like to answer this question because this question deals with the attitude to life as an author of life. Those of you who took my marathon, The Key to Yourself, where we speak about your mission, your purpose, you understand what I'm talking about. During the last 20 years that I worked, I asked myself 1,000 times, would I be doing it if I weren't paid for my job? And the answer was yes. The answer was always yes, I would do that. And I can say this about everything that I do. Sometimes I get paid €1,000 just to have a cup of coffee with a person. And sometimes I do a lot of work for 5,000 rubles. But I understand that I can do all this for free because I feel the inner need for this. That's why I do it. If I speak about today's situation, I can't help doing this because I have everything for it. I have all kinds of resources for that. I have information platform, I have knowledge, skills, plus I have the need for love and care. And people who listened to my live on Instagram understand that love and care are the two-way street. A human being wants to love and to be taken care of. And now I'm speaking about healthy relationships. I'm very realistic about this. So I look at my own reaction. I satisfy my needs this way too. Because not all needs can be satisfied with money. Money can cover only the first 2 levels of life. You can help yourself with money when it comes to food, sleep, and security. That's it. But then you will need to attract some other kinds of resources, sometimes even your subconscious resources. Plus, I have a lot of knowledge. My head is full of different marathons. And when I come up with them, I create them and I release them. So, my attitude is that I can make money releasing information that is very precious for people, that you cannot get for free. But the most important thing is that not everybody needs this information. Not all people are ready to take my marathons. Only those who are ready to work on the quality of their lives, only people who understand this and who want to change their lives are my audience. That's why this marathon is also in a relatively closed circle of people. It is free, but it has been made for those who are ready. Here I'm talking about people who I watch every day, who are full of unnecessary anxiety, and I really want to help them. But what I can do for them is just I can open the door, but I cannot force you to enter the door. You cannot force a person to be happy. The next question is, how can I help people in this situation? You can help others physically and you can give them moral support. How can you help them physically? You can take part in some volunteer programs. You can bring groceries to your elderly neighbors. And what is very important, please ask people. You can say something like, can I help you with anything? What can I do to help? And some people can decide that the help that they need is very difficult for you. So that's why you should put the questions correctly. For example, do you need any help? Or I can see that you need my help. Please tell me, what can I do to help you now? And about moral support, you can call people who are lonely. You can talk to them. You can just say that you are near, and you can always listen to them and support them. And the next question is, what can I do? How should I behave if my relatives or important people have panic attacks? First, I'd like to remind you that people can have panic attacks or they can just have anxiety. A panic attack can be very short, but if a person has an anxiety disorder, it can be really long, yeah? So please beware that there are these two very different states. Okay, if a person has a panic attack, it feels like a very sharp anxiety, fear, tension, feeling very bad, very fast heart rate. A person can become sweaty, can feel dizzy, and it happens very quickly and without any reason. And the person just feels that they are going crazy. So what you should do in this situation? First, don't let his panic affect you, affect your state. Remember that only keeping calm and maintaining your inner calmness you can help. Please be calm on the outside and on the inside. Show that you are very calm with your actions, with your behavior. Only this way you can really help a person. You can stand in front of a person, and if he lets you, you can take a person by his hands and say in a very confident way, "Look at me. What's going on with you right now is not dangerous. We are going to breathe deeply right now together with you." And after that, you start to breathe in deeply and confidently and pay attention to the person, that the person do the same. It also helps if you show how he or she should breathe. You should also you can also show it with your hand, point your hand up or down, to the left or to the right. So you have to show inhale, exhale, and your voice has to be very confident. Your confidence will be contagious, and in several minutes, the symptoms of a panic attack will go away. Also, what you can do, you can ask a person questions. You can say, "Right now, I'm going to ask you questions, and you please answer." These questions will help. For example, you can ask, "What is your name? Where are we right now? What is my name?" These questions will bring him back to reality, to the moment, right now. Next, you can ask him or her to do something very simple. For example, find a blue object with your eyes, or touch your right leg, or now inhale together with me. And you will see that in some time he will feel better. If you have worrying or anxious relatives, what you should do? Please don't let them immerse into social network and news. Instead of that, for them it's better to indulge in some physical activity. You can do some sports or dance together with them. Also, you can give them something to do, some job to do, like a hobby or some routine job. It also can help if you ask them to help you with something, even if you don't really need their help. For example, you need to clean your table or your desk, and you can ask them to help. If they take some small objects, if they place small objects, it's an easy job, but it will really help them. Doing something will decrease their anxiety, and it's very, very important if they help you with something, because it really strengthens our immunity and raises our spirits, because it gives a person the feeling that they are needed, that somebody needs them. And finally, I'm coming to the subject that I really want to cover: how to transform your life routine. I'd like to remind you about the effect of a day off and the effect of a celebration that overlap with our anxious state of mind. And here I'd like to do some self-promotion, and I'd like to say that at this moment in time, I often think, yeah, this is my time. My time has come, because nowadays a lot of people who know how to lose weight, what is the right nutrition, how to do sports, really they have some food disorders and food psychosis. Because right now, food has become our entertainment and our comfort and even the tool of communication and the means of taking care of our relatives. And there are different jokes on the internet, something like, okay, I'm going shopping as always once a week and I'm going to buy groceries for a month. That's why I'd like to remind you here that your extra weight comes from extra food. And right now, extra food is one of the ways of keeping our psychological balance. That's why if you want to lose weight or if you want to stay fit, it's very important to know what's going on in your mind. That's why I'd like to invite you to my marathon that is called Slimness Metrics. If you come, you can take at least the first week that is free and available to everyone. And you will figure out a lot of interesting things and it will help you survive the quarantine. I will give the link to this marathon below. Right now I'm going to list some problems and difficulties that you may have come across, or maybe you haven't, and I will speak about some tools that can be useful in these situations. Maybe I'm going to miss something, but I will give you a very practical exercise that will help you, and you can do it yourself, and you can even use it to help other people. The main thing you have to remember right now is that the effort you used to put in ordinary circumstances have now become your extra effort. So please give yourself a break, take care of yourself, and solve one problem at a time. And please put extra effort only in cases in which you cannot avoid it. First, I'm going to list some recommendations that I don't agree with, and I'm going to offer you my options that I think will really help you. So, some psychologists offer to have your usual alarm clock, to set it for usual time, and to get up as if you are going to work. I am against that. This trick is good if you are feeling comfortable and if you're feeling really good, that you have really good psychological state and that you are just working as a freelancer yourself, or you are self-employed. But in this situation, it's not you who decided to live according to this schedule. Yeah, you have to do this. And maybe you used to get up for work and not really like it. And maybe you have become really tired of that. Yeah, and if you used to get up early and it was an extra effort for you, now it has become an extra effort. So what I'm gonna say is you should take care of yourself, you should get enough sleep, and maybe this is going to be a very good time to define if you are a morning person or a night owl. And maybe it will come as a surprise that you are a morning person. But what is very important here is that you should pay close attention to your sleeping hours. Even if you go to bed late, you should get up also late. You should get enough sleep. Let me illustrate that with an example of a girl who I know. The girl is really successful and she's a real night owl. She gets up every day in the afternoon, and accordingly she goes to bed at 4 or 5 in the morning. She works at night. She is writing her dissertation or stuff like that. And in the daytime, she has her active life. And she has been working for herself for a while. She has been self-employed. And at this moment in time, she decided to just give herself a break, leave herself alone, because right now she can live the way she wants and not the way the society wants from her. The next thing that I heard people recommend is to dress up as if you are going to the office. As I have mentioned, people very often fool themselves, and sometimes it leads to the situation when your subconscious mind doesn't trust your own mind and body anymore. So please, be honest with yourselves. Your brain knows that you are at home, but you are in different circumstances right now, in different conditions. Now you are not just at home, but you work from home. That's why, of course, it's very important to get rid of your pajamas for the time when you work and put on some clothes that will tell you that you are really working. Yeah, that will show that you are doing your job. And when you do this, pay close attention to your reaction, to your feelings, because if you really want to dress up as if you're going to the office or to do makeup or to do your hair, go ahead, do this. Men may want to put on their suits and shirts, but please don't do this only because somebody told you to do this. Okay? Do this if you really want to do it yourself. The next thing that I heard is recommended is to write down your daily routine. And I really support this idea, but please remember that you can break your daily routine and it's normal, so please don't try to religiously follow it. And don't scold neither yourself nor your relatives if you break some points from your daily routine. But please try to include into the list the more details. The more, the better. And don't try to write down your daily routine for the week. Yeah. Just write it down for 1 or 2 or 3 days ahead. Some people who are self-employed or work as freelancers, work distantly, have the problem of no days off. And here I really insist, you should assign your days off. And here you may see that you just have your own schedule that is really comfortable for you. Maybe it will be working every other day, or sometimes people see that it's comfortable for them to work 3 days in a row and then have a day off, or maybe have a day off every 10 days. Yeah, it's up to you to decide. But what is important is that you should have days off. You should really have some time for yourself when you do what you want to do. please make an agreement with people who live with you that you have your own time when nobody can bother you. And if you have children, please make it clear that there will be some time when it's forbidden to say something like "Mom," and that they have their own time too, when you will not bother them and they can do anything you want, and you will not even ask what they are busy doing, and you will not make them do their homework. The same holds true for your husbands. If you have a husband, let him have some time for himself. I really think that one of the most important problems of isolation is that people just cannot be alone with themselves because their relatives always want something from them, always need something and ask for something. And that's why here some relationships have gotten worse, because people used to go to work and not see each other, and right now, when they are together for a long time, of course, some problems really become clear. And here, it's very important to iron out your inner state, make it calm, and improve your relationships. And here, my marathon that is called Author of Life can really help you. Walk at least 1 hour every day, even if you have tough quarantine, very strict rules. You can go outside following the rules. I read that in some countries you can even rent a dog, for example, to walk a dog. I don't know if it's true, but it may come as a life hack. It's also very important to entertain yourself. So have some time separate for entertainment, for movies, hobbies, reading. Reading real paper books also can relax you. It can release stress. And it's very important to focus when you do that. I'm going to tell you which psychological training astronauts take before a long-term isolation. And one of the very important points is having a diary. As of today, the perfect diary would be a diary of gratitude. And I will give it to you as your homework. So, start your diary. Right now, today, you can start your diary of gratitude, and you will see how your life will change after that. Give yourself a break, and this is one of the most important points of our today's podcast. I would really like to highlight it because some of us really have this internal program, like to be a good girl or to be a real man. And if in our usual life we could live according to those programs, and social templates, and we used to live like that. But today we cannot do that, and it's very hard to keep up with that. Social stereotypes very often do not let us live our own lives, and that's why some people develop this state of a victim. Here, a very important advice is you can make mistakes. Please allow yourselves to make mistakes, to break the rules. Keep in mind that you will do everything you can. You will do your best. And I will give you the tools for that. One more very important point. You should remember that your relatives are going through some hard times too. And it's very hard for them to be flexible. But the need for being flexible is great right now. So, what can you do for one another in these circumstances? Number one, you should make an agreement about the rules, that there will be certain rules and everybody will follow them. Number two, let others make mistakes. Yeah, if somebody breaks some rule, it's not a big deal. They can do that. The main thing you can do for them is not put the blame on them. What you can do is you can just discuss the rules one more time, and you can discuss the things that you need to feel better. Number three, you have to make the rules with all members of your family and take into account everybody's wishes. Number four, if you have children who go to school, please try to teach your children how to learn. Don't replace teachers for your children. Teach them how to look for information and how to do their homework by themselves. Remember that they will finish their schools. They will definitely finish school, but the skill of looking for and finding information is very important, and they will use this skill in the future. So, what you should do today? Number one, you should gather together with your family and make rules of living in a closed space. And these rules must include, they must deal with your work, the work and studying of other members of your family, your personal time of other members of your family, entertainment. Entertainment can be individual or common. For example, you can go for coffee with your friends and, of course, online, and your husband can just play some computer games at this time. And what is also very important is that you should go for a walk. You should go outside. The next important thing is that you should write a list of the things that you have to do now that you didn't used to do before. For example, you have 2 children and you used to take one of them to kindergarten and the other one to school, and you yourself went to work. Now what you have to do is you have to entertain your younger kid, you have to manage homework of your elder kid, you have to work yourself, and they are asking you to feed them all the time. Yeah, you used to give them money, for example, for lunch, but now you have to cook yourself. So make your own schedule and include all the details. Please write down all the things that you do every day and things that require your extra efforts. Also find some things that you do easily that do not require your extra effort. For example, if you didn't use to play a lot with your child or do homework with your children, don't try to be a good mother all of a sudden, yeah? Because you can waste all your resources and you can actually get neurosis if you will want to do everything simultaneously. Just think about it. Maybe it's not necessary to check homework of your elder kid, so don't do that. He will definitely finish school, believe me, and believe your children. Trust their children. Be sober about your resources. For example, you don't have any strength to play with your younger kid. Okay, don't do that. You will play with him when you have resources for that. And promise yourself that if you don't want to do something right now, you don't do that. Or if you want to do something but you don't feel that you have the power to do that, promise yourself that you will do it when you will have the power. So when you don't have to put extra effort, just don't put it. You can always get back to some things that you want to do when you have the strength for it. Right now, I'm watching some bloggers read children's fairy tales to make parents relax a little bit. For example, my dentist, who's also a dentist of my son, makes a video of fairy tales. And my son Martin really likes to listen to her, although he doesn't really like fairy tales. But he knows her and he listens to her with pleasure. About other extra effort, please ask members of your family to help you. Here, you can even use help of your elderly relatives and your neighbors. Maybe you just need them to cook some simple food, boil potatoes, or, for example, boil some chicken, and you will have your lunch, and your relatives will keep themselves busy, and you will have a little bit time to relax. There can be a lot of small details like this, and this help can save you from a nervous breakdown. And here it's very important to understand who has definite resources. You should understand that, and you should divide your duties in the family. Another very important thing is the diary of gratitude. Please think about that. It will really help you. It can even help your economic situation. And very soon you will get more information about this. But right now I would like to sum up our today's podcast. Okay, these are the highlights of today's podcast. Number 1, create your own new schedule and follow it. Number 2, give yourself a break. Let yourself make mistakes. You don't have to be perfect, and it's okay. Number 3, give others a break. People also don't have to be perfect, and it is okay. They don't have to fulfill your expectations, and it's okay too. Number 4, take care of yourself and get rid of all extra effort if you can. Number 5, please start your diary of gratitude and look how your life will change very soon.